Thanks for joining us today, everybody, and welcome to Federation University Virtual Open Day. And thanks for joining us for this course information session covering our Bachelor of Sustainable Food Systems, which is an exciting program we're really pleased to be introducing today for next year. Joining us today for this presentation, I'm very pleased to welcome David Bean, Senior Lecturer in Microbiology and Fermentation Technology with Federation University. Sharon Sini, who is Industry Trainer for Food Science with Federation TAFE. And we also have a number of other staff who join us today to help out with chat, but we're going to hand over to David in a moment to lead the presentation. So we'll just click through to the next slide, David, if you're driving there. Just to begin with, and before I hand over to David, I'd just like to acknowledge that Federation University acknowledges the traditional custodians of the lands and waters where our campuses, centres and field stations are located. We pay respect to elders past and present, and we also pay our respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander and First Nations peoples. So David, I will hand over to you to talk about the Bachelor of Sustainable Food Systems in more detail. Thanks, David.
Thank you very much, Giuseppe, and thank you to everyone for joining us this morning. And I'm very excited to be able to talk to you this morning about a new program which we're rolling out at Federation University, the Bachelor of Sustainable Food Systems. And this is a unique program in many ways, and I'm looking forward to telling you why. The Bachelor of Sustainable Food Studies is a new and innovative program that we are offering, and it's what's been known as a dual qualification degree. That is, whilst you're studying the program, you're getting the higher education university degree, but within that degree, embedded within it, you're also getting TAFE qualifications as well, and you'll graduate with 2 qualifications, a TAFE diploma and a higher education degree. And that's useful for you as a student. You're getting 2 qualifications at the same time. And it's also appreciated by employers as well. They're seeing someone who's got the hands-on practical skills of TAFE, as well as perhaps the higher level education provided by the university as well. So students are awarded those 2 qualifications. Now, it's very important for us when we develop this, that our students, when they graduate, they're going to be work ready. So we consulted quite extensively with industry when we were putting this program together to make sure that the qualification did provide students with the background they needed to be work ready and step straight into jobs. Pardon me. Also, part of the degree program integrates a significant amount of work integrated learning. So during your program, during your study, you'll spend a lot of time within industry, within the food industry, and getting a feel for how the food industry works. Why study this degree at Federation? Well, there's a lot of reasons. At Federation University and Federation TAFE, we both have long pedigrees of teaching within the food sphere. Okay, so we've been doing this for a long time, approximately 40 degrees at both the university and TAFE. So we have a lot of experience in this space. And during this time, we've also built up quite strong connections with the local food industry. So that's useful for us because it can help us get students into these businesses so they can experience work. And by talking with the food industry, we're making sure we're constantly improving our offering to make sure that our students are going to be work ready and the studies that they're taking remain relevant. This also allows us for work integrated learning opportunities, so placements and things like that, which you can do during the course of the studies. But perhaps most importantly for you as a student is that many of our graduates find jobs. They often find jobs whilst they're studying. And this is just some of the companies that we've placed students in and subsequently got jobs going onwards. Yes, this is being recorded. So a little bit about the structure of the degree. Pardon me. Well, for convenience, I've broken the degree up into 2 parts, the first 18 months and the second 18 months. Now, these are the courses that you'll be doing. So showing here, the semesters. semesters 1, 2, and 3. So each semester being 6 months of study. And across horizontally are the courses you'll be doing. Now, the ones that I've marked, highlighted in yellow, are courses which are specific to this degree program. The ones that are just white, clear backgrounds, they're general university courses. So the ones that are marked in yellow, you'll see another tab, blue, and the blue tabs that are associated with those courses, these are the courses which can have integrated within them TAFE content. So the first course there you see, Fundamentals in Food Science, then is made up predominantly of TAFE material that has been wrapped up together with higher education background as well. So within those courses, those 7 courses there, that are marked with the blue tab, those courses contain a proportion of integrated embedded TAFE content. And that allows you at the end of 18 months study to graduate with a Diploma of Food Science halfway through your degree. That also sets you up for the second half of the degree. And in the second half of the degree, you have the option to major in 1 or 2 streams. Okay, so we've, again, in consultation with industry, we've identified 2 streams that the food industry thinks is very valuable. One of them is food processing, and we have a long sort of pedigree in doing food processing. This is the science and the art of converting raw materials into finished products. So the ingredients to make a cake into a cake, for example. Okay, so that's the science behind doing that. And this is a strong employer at the moment and always has been. So we're placing a number of students into these roles. So this is likely to be a very important stream going forward and will continue to be. But something which is starting to take off and getting more and more traction is sustainability, and sustainability in the food industry. Okay, so the food industry is obviously a big industry. It's going to get bigger. We are required to feed more and more people as the world's population goes, but we have to do that more efficiently. We have to save in energy, save in ingredients, and reduce waste. So sustainability is a burgeoning area, it's a big area which focuses on these things. And sustainability is another area which is another major stream which you can specialize in. And sustainability covers the entire food production area from farm to fork. So then, when we consider the second half of the degree, the first half, again, the first 18 months here, and in the red box here, we've highlighted the second half of the degree programs you'll be taking. Okay, so this is for food processing. So we have courses like food processing technology, product and process development, for example. There's also a significant portion of food industry internship. So you'll spend 30 credit points, so that'll be up to 200 hours placement in the food industry with a project that aligns with the food industry's needs and the university's teaching requirements. So that's a good, often introduction to a business that can be utilized for further job experience and possibly full-time placements. So that's a major stream of food processing. We also have sustainable food production. Okay, so these courses are aligned more around sustainability, food production, agricultural practices, for example. And I'll also draw your attention to the specialist electives here. So within these major streams, you have the opportunity to perhaps customize your degree even more so. And I'll highlight what some of these specialization electives are. At the moment, we've sort of identified a couple of pairs of courses. So if you want to specialize in food science, for example, you could do food microbiology and food chemistry. But if you wanted to do more sustainability and environmental policy, you can do these courses, responsible business, climate change, climate and environmental issues in a changing world. Or another stream which was identified as potentially important through our industry context was more business and management courses. So you can customize your degree further by taking some of these specialist electives. Career opportunities. Well, there's plenty. The food industry is increasing in size. It has to, as the population increases in size. So there's many more jobs, and jobs are currently evolving. The the food industry, in my experience, is crying out for good qualified graduates with courses with a background such as this. So there's a whole number of degrees, job titles you could possibly get into. And once you're in the food industry as well, there's a potential for growth within that particular job title, within that particular position as well. So many number of things we can do. Just highlight this picture here. We were allowed back on campus, and hopefully we will have the opportunity to do an on-campus open day. This is an activity we did in 2019 where we made liquid nitrogen ice cream. So if you can come on campus, make sure you come for that one. As I said, we've placed many students in jobs. Often by the time they get to their third year, they've experienced some time in workplaces. Pardon me. And those experiences often translate into jobs. And we've got many examples of this, but one particular example is a student, Jess Kelly. So she completed our program in 2016, but as part of her final year, third year course in product and process design, she's visited True Foods, which is they manufacture breads and flatbreads in Maryborough. And that led to a job, an entry-level job. And she's been at that job ever since. She's currently working as a product development manager. So she oversees the formulation of new products and eventually sees them being delivered to market. So she's really worked her way up within that organization. But not only has she worked her way up within the organization, she's attracted recognition from a lot of external bodies as well. So some of her highlights in her career: in 2018, she was awarded Food Safety Future Leaders Industry Scholarship, which allowed her to study further and increase her background, which then allowed her to progress within the organization. In 2020, she developed the market-leading Simpson's Pantry Better For You products, which you should be able to see in your local supermarkets. And these products was a finalist in a competition for new products. And in 2020, she was appointed to the Victorian Government's Regional Partnership for the Long-Campaspe region. So again, one of our graduates has gone on to great things and is really a leader in a local industry and driving the market forward in this space. Again, there's many success stories of people finding jobs within the industry after completing this program. So admission to the program, entry requirements. You can find this information online, of course, for applicants who have an equivalent Victorian Year 12 with an English mark of at least 20 and a study score of at least 20 in mathematics or any science. And there's numerous pathways for people that are not coming directly from high school as well, so you can contact us about those. We have pathways specifically for people who have completed Certificate 4 and the Diploma in Food Science and Technology as well. It's worth bringing your attention to scholarships. Now, the university offers a number of scholarships, and you can find more information about them at this link here. But two which I'll draw your attention to are the FedIgnite Scholarship. So the FedIgnite Scholarship has a scholarship specifically for the Bachelor of Sustainable Food Systems, and there are no real entry requirements for that. So I'd encourage everybody who's considering applying for this to have a look at that scholarship. That's worth $4,000. And there are a number of other scholarships available as well. Another one that's worth drawing attention to is the FedSTEM Women's Scholarship. That's comprised of 6 scholarships. There are some requirements for that. Your ATAR should be above 80, and that again is worth $4,000. So if you're considering studying, please have a look at those scholarships as well. Right, I'm going to stop talking soon. So what next? If you're interested in these, please check your entry requirements and apply directly through VTAC. And further information can be found here. And contact us on any of our social media profiles here as well. That's all I had to say for today, so I'm very happy to field questions.
That's fantastic. Thanks very much for the information, David. Certainly, as David said, certainly welcome any questions in the chat there. I've also posted a link to our course finder page, which includes full details about the program, including entry requirements and pathways and some of the details that David's covered so well in that presentation. So you're welcome to access that and use that for your reference. There was also a question in the chat earlier just regarding a recording of this session. So yes, it is being recorded as we speak, and that will be available to anybody to access after today's event in the chat, and also available on our Open Day website. David, thanks for that presentation. That was excellent. I noticed in one of the earlier slides too, you were talking about a lot of the industry partnerships and connections that we've got in the program. How have I guess industry been involved in working through the development of the program and ensuring that we meet the needs of industry, and not just now but certainly into the future?
Yeah, great question, Giuseppe, and thank you for drawing attention to that. Well, first off, when we're putting this new program together, I mean, we had a program which we knew worked, and we've been placing students for a number of years, but we wanted to revitalize it and make it more relevant, and taking advantage of the fact that we are a dual sector university. So part of that was really consulting with our local industry partners, and we reached out to a number and really wanted to know, a number of them are quite aware of our degrees, they've been taking our students on, but what they valued in our students and what they thought we could add to it. So we had quite an extensive process talking to them, and that's where we highlighted things like the opportunity to incorporate those business degrees, and you'll see that in the specialization electives. They highlighted sustainability as a really important area which we should be looking into, and that's why we just put the program together as a Bachelor of Sustainable Food Systems. So it was quite extensive consultation process, and we envisage that carrying on. So we've got a core group which will have meeting annually to reflect upon what we've done. So we've got a continuous improvement cycle built in to make sure that the program remains relevant and continues to meet industry needs and produce graduates that are work ready, truly work ready.
It's definitely something, as you mentioned earlier, that we pride ourselves that connection, ensuring that our graduates do find work and have that industry experience while they're studying as well. So it's just terrific to see those connections, and right across the various regions. It's fantastic. David, can you talk a little bit about, I know there are a wide range of different roles that somebody could go into with this qualification, but can you talk through maybe what would a typical day be for somebody who is working in this field? What are some of the common roles or responsibilities that they would have in managing a sustainable food system for an organisation?
Really interesting question. So there's so many roles that this could really lead into. So I had a list of potential job titles here. So Jess's job, for example, was product developer. So we talked a little bit about one of our first students, Jess Kelly, and that would be looking at what the sort of gaps in the market, highlighting any gaps that are there, thinking about ideas to fill those gaps, and then producing products that sort of meet that specification. So that'll be talking to people, going into the probably a pilot plant, a small scale kitchen, and trying to put these products together. Then sensory evaluation, that is sort of testing the products, tasting them. Do they have the right characteristics? Are they the right feel, the right smell, the right taste, and things going on like that. So that could be one field, but then there's lots of other things. So my background is in microbiology, for example. I spent a number of years working for Mars. So I'm ex-Mars, and I was a microbiologist. So my role was overseeing microbiology globally. So that could be things like, when things go wrong, if we've got germs in our products, how we get rid of them. Could be looking over our laboratory systems, which test to see if we've got bad germs in our products. Could be setting up new laboratories in various countries. So we've set laboratories up in South Africa, in Russia, in Australia, and all sorts of places. So again, this degree can open up many, many doors. So a typical day is quite difficult to describe because there's so many things you can find your way into. We hope to get people in the sustainability area as well. So that might be analysing the industry's energy uses, for example, and trying to find efficiencies. So capturing heat, for example, or installing solar panels or something like that. It might be reducing waste, so water treatments. There's many things it could potentially lead into. And I think that's one of the strengths and exciting features about this particular program. And again, in my experience, once you're in the food industry, there's other opportunities will open up as well. So there's a real breadth to the career possibilities provided by this.
Just seems so broad. It's very exciting to hear about how it touches onto, as you said, the environmental aspects, every facet of production. And I think when you look at the scale of the food production with a lot of these organizations, how critical a role food safety and hygiene and all these other aspects is, it's you couldn't put a price on it as an organization, which I think underlines how important these types of qualifications are in industry.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the food industry is going to continue to increase. There's more people. We need to feed them, and we need to find smarter ways of feeding them. So that requires new technologies. It requires making sure we're doing things safe, that food safety and quality aspect. So it's going to be a changing and evolving field, I think, and it's exciting to be part of it and being integrated within it and providing graduates that are going to solve these problems going forward.
Absolutely, no, that's great. Looking at that photo too, I have to ask, what did the liquid nitrogen ice cream taste like?
It was very good. So the idea is it cools the cream down really fast. So we put the cream in there, we put the liquid nitrogen, and it cools it down, so it produces an ice cream that's got really, the ice crystals form, well, they don't form because it's cooled so fast, so it's got a really smooth characteristic. And we were providing that in little tubs, and you could put sprinkles on it and take it away, and we're hoping to do it again when we can have people back on campus.
That's fascinating, absolutely brilliant. Thanks for that, David, that's great.
You're welcome.
We do have a few people still in the chat there. Yeah, certainly we're getting a little bit close to the end of the session. But if you do have any final questions for David or the team here, please let us know. Certainly welcome any queries that you may have. David, were there any other aspects that you wanted to touch on before we wrap up? Any other points about the program or student experience that you'd like to raise?
I have a couple of colleagues that are on the line as well that may want to add something. Sharon or Kamal, if I've missed anything, feel free to chirp in. Other than that, for me, this is a really exciting program. It offers that dual qualification, which is something which is fairly unique at this stage. It's something that I think the tertiary sector is starting to lean towards, but we're really leading the market in this space. So it's a really exciting program, and I feel privileged to be part of it and presenting it today.
Oh, yeah, thanks, David. Yeah, you covered all that brilliantly. I don't have really anything to add except for echoing what you've said. I personally also take this opportunity to say that other colleagues are also experienced in the food industry, and we come from a long background of not only in education, but also working in the food industry in various roles.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Kamal. And Kamal himself comes from an extensive background in the food industry as well, and brings a lot of expertise in product and process design. So we're very lucky to have him involved.
It's fantastic. Thanks very much, Kamal. So it doesn't look like we have any other questions, but I would just like to take this opportunity to thank all our presenters today. David, Kamal, Sharon, thanks to all of you for joining us here. There's some great information about this program that you've provided. And I think just the opportunities, as you can see on the screen there, are just so broad, and I think it's a real industry for not just now, but for the future. So David, thank you very much for your time today. And just to highlight to everybody who's listening to this presentation, if you do need more information, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. I have posted a link to the program information for the Bachelor of Sustainable Food Systems in the chat. You can also get in touch with us at any time using our online chat features, emailing our future students email address, which is futurestudents@federation.edu.au, or calling our 1-800 number, which is 1-800-FED-UNI, which is 1-800-333-864. David, thanks very much for your time today. Really appreciate your presentation.
No problem. Thanks, Giuseppe. It was a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye.